Hai semua teman-teman, selamat siang. Dan hari ini welcome back ke Isolate Show. Memang waktunya agak terlambat seperti biasanya, tetapi karena tamu gue hari ini adalah special. Mereka live dari Jerman ya. Jadi kita ada VJ Daniel Mananta dan istrinya Lola bersama-sama kita pada siang hari ini. Kita akan ngobrol tentang pernikahan mereka, tentang relationship mereka, bagaimana sih mereka mengatasi konflik dan seterusnya dan sebagainya. Jadi mereka benar bucin banget sih ya menurut gue, dan story mereka benar-benar sangat inspiratif dan juga entertaining. So kita akan menunggu Daniel untuk muncul ya. Let's see if he is available right now. Sebentar ya teman-teman ya. Saya coba cari dulu Daniel. Oke. Kita akan menunggu VJ Daniel untuk muncul hari ini bersama istrinya Lola. Mereka lagi di Jerman, jadi I appreciate their time to be here. So please be patient. Semoga semuanya sehat ya. Hai Dewi, hai Lini. Tunggu sebentar teman-teman ya, masih nunggu dari Daniel nih, belum muncul. Saya akan coba lagi, let's see if she's here. Oke. Caranya sekarang gimana ya? Kok diganti? Bingung gue. Oke, masih nunggu daripada ya sehat. Terima kasih Leni. Semoga semuanya juga sehat di sini ya. Dan sekarang bisa ke kantor, udahan, dan bisa buka masker di kantor. Tapi kalau keluar kantor harus tetap pakai double masker. Oh, kenapa VJ Daniel nggak bisa join ya? Coba, let me try again. Sorry guys ya, saya lagi coba juga mencari Daniel. Oke, semoga nggak ada masalah teknis hari ini. So, sabar ya teman-teman ya. Maaf atas waktunya, keterlambatannya, but hopefully we can start soon. So, let's see. Mungkin gue harus buka di gue punya laptop juga deh. Sebentar ya gue cari di sini ketemu nggak ya? What's going on? Where is he? Oke. Kemana nih ya? Sebentar ya, nggak tahu nih kenapa Daniel belum muncul. Cuma gue lagi nungguin dia sebentar guys. Okay, let me see. Is there any problem? Wait. Oh, dia barusan WhatsApp gue bilang internet bermasalah. So, can you try still? Okay, oh wait, he's here. Let's invite him. Hey, 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 yes, Daniel is here. How do I invite him to join right now? Okay, let's try. Let's see. Hey, sorry. Hey.
Am I so glad to see you?
I'm glad I can see you.
Gila.
Hi, Dan. Hi, Lola.
Halo.
Kita ada di kampungnya Viola di daerah Königsbach dan oh my goodness, internetnya, oh gila, parah banget.
Gue pikir Jerman lebih aman daripada Jakarta.
Well,
Not in this house, apparently.
not in this village.
We'll try our best then.
Sorry.
We'll try our best. But thank you.
Yeah,
But
I hope
sorry,
that
should we have the interview in English or bahasa ya?
Bahasa boleh. Well, Viola, are you okay?
Yeah, I will just answer in English if that's fine. Maybe you can translate if
Yeah.
All right,
the
sure.
viewers
Sure. Okay.
would wish so.
So let me just say thank you so much ya, Lola and of course Daniel to be here. I really appreciate it. Dan kalian adalah couple kedua di Isolate Show. Sebelumnya ada temannya Daniel sendiri, si Yosi sama April juga yang been here at the couple as well. So yeah, you know them. So anyway, gue mau tanya ini langsung aja ya. Kalian sudah menikah selama 9 tahun, ya kan? Tapi gue pengen rewind dulu
Bentar
nih.
lagi, 10 tahun. Bentar lagi, tanggal 2 Oktober. That's like really
Okay.
soon.
Alright. So, I want to know first, gimana sih kalian bertemunya itu? How did you meet? Is it through mutual friend atau bagaimana?
Ooh.
In the club?
Yeah.
Seriously?
I was studying. I was actually still studying, and I was studying in Malaysia at that time. And I flew over to Jakarta to visit a friend for the weekend, one of my like fellow study friends. And she was in Jakarta at the time, and then I spent my birthday weekend in Jakarta, and we went out clubbing, and that's where I met this man here.
Wow. So it is true. It's clubbing. I thought he was joking.
In a club? In a club?
In the club.
In the
Yeah, in
club.
the club.
At that time kan Daniel kan masih jadi MTV host ya?
Yeah.
Okay, so Lola, did you know that Daniel was a famous guy? He's the VJ of MTV.
Funny thing is, like, when we met the first time, his friend introduced him to me, like, this is Daniel. He's a VJ. And I'm like, ooh,
Congratulations.
whatever that is. Honestly, I had no idea what that was. Of course, I soon found out that he has like a huge following on Twitter back then.
That's when she fell in love with me.
No, that's when I blocked him off my face. That's when I blocked him off my Facebook, because his Twitter and Facebook were connected, and he was always like flooding my timeline with this Indonesian abbreviations that I didn't understand. So, because I was back in Malaysia and we didn't meet again until half a
Okay.
year later, I basically blocked him from my timeline. Yeah.
Okay. Wait, jadi pas kalian pertama kali ketemu, was it love at first sight or lust at first sight?
From my side, neither, I would say.
Gue bukan, gue bukan tipenya Viola juga gitu. Jadi kayak nggak ada, ya. Dan
So I didn't even notice him until my best friend said, this guy is like the best looking guy in the club. And I'm like,
and she's German juga ya. Dia
Iya.
di Jerman juga gitu. Maksudnya bukan Indonesia.
no, you're my German friend. And she's like, he's like the best looking guy. And I'm like, yeah, maybe.
Okay,
Dan
jadi kalau dari
kalau
sorry,
dari-
dari kata go ahead,
Kalau
Daniel.
gue tadi kan pertanyaannya bagus banget. Is it love at first sight atau lust at first sight gitu? Dan gue ngerasa ketika Viola bilang neither, gue sendiri juga mungkin bisa dibilang neither juga kali ya. Karena mungkin seperti banyak Indonesia lainnya, gue pengen punya teman bule aja. Jadi kayak gue bilang sama Viola, my first pick up line ke Viola kayak, dari mana asalnya? Where are you from? Gitu kan? Germany. What? Mantan gue juga dari Jerman. Like seriously, it's like the worst pickup line ever.
Yeah, it wasn't a pickup line. So when there was no mutual interest really.
Yeah.
So we just had a chat, and we only exchanged numbers that day. We actually didn't meet again until much later, like half a year later, right?
Yeah.
So there was neither lust nor love nor interest really.
Yeah.
Maybe
Okay,
it was
so-
good, but
Okay, but how did you get from that point in the club to the point where you actually start dating?
so half a year later, I actually came back to Jakarta for an internship, and my German friend had left by that time, so I didn't really know many people in Jakarta, and I just needed some people to hang out with. So I remember there's this guy on my Facebook,
That you blocked.
and he's from Jakarta, so I'm like, hey, why don't I just ask him if he wants to have lunch during my lunch break at work? And that's how it started, actually. I just needed friends.
Gue udah punya cewek saat itu sebenarnya.
Oh.
Tapi on the verge of breaking up.
And I had a boyfriend too, and
Yeah.
so I wasn't looking for boyfriend material. I really just needed a social circle.
Ya, dan habis itu ketika gue ngajak Viola kayak, dinner deh, lunch, ngapain lunch, dinner aja. Gue ngajak dia ke restoran Jerman dong. Lo bayangin deh, maksudnya ada satu restoran Jerman di Kemang yang gue suka banget, namanya Dishtube, dan
shout out to die Stube.
Yes, ini bukan endorse tapi benar-benar emang kita suka banget aja. Itu first date kita, pertama kali first date. Tapi beberapa tahun kemudian ketika gue pikir-pikir gitu ya, dan Viola juga pikir-pikir, itu adalah hal yang paling rasis yang pernah gue lakuin ke Viola. Lu bayangin aja kalau misalnya gitu ya, kita di Jerman, dan habis itu Viola ngajakin gue first date, dan habis itu Viola ngajak gue ke Chinese restaurant atau Indonesian restaurant, like Panda Express or something, like I don't know. Cuman gara-gara muka gue kayak gini gitu kan. Dan akhirnya gue ngerasa, gila bener juga ya. Gue kalau misalnya di Jerman, abis itu dikasih nasi goreng, udah pasti gue ngerasa yang apaan ini, ya kan? Tapi untungnya di tempat di Kemang emang enak parah gitu. Jadi Viola sendiri juga ngakuin ternyata ini enak. Gitu.
It was good.
Nah,
It was good.
tapi gini loh, kan pas pertama-tama itu makan restoran itu kan you guys you were still involved with other people, nggak ada intention to hook up in any way, ya kan? Nah, pertanyaan gua, kenapa subconsciously Daniel bisa mau be pleasing to Lola? Apakah subconsciously lu actually ada satu interest kepada dia?
Interest, most probably, dan I think gue mungkin ya obviously lah, maksudnya Viola sendiri juga menarik banget dengan rambut pendeknya dia, she's cantik gitu kan, jadi of course ada interest ke arah sana gitu, walaupun saat itu gue udah punya pacar gitu ya at the time, tapi ya dan gue sendiri juga mikir ya kayak laki-laki bajingan pada umumnya, gue mikir ya udah ini begitu gue putusin pacar ini minimal gue udah punya satu lagi backingan gitu.
By the way, a disclaimer, I did not know about this girl, and if she's listening right now, I'm sorry. If I had known, I would have not made any move. Just so you know, yeah.
No,
Nothing to do with it.
Dan akhirnya setelah gue putusin pacar yang itu, abis itu kita clubbing lagi di Dragonfly, ya kan saat itu. Si cewek ini
No, it was Blowfish.
Dan habis itu si cewek ini ngeliat gitu gue lagi kayak di dance floor sama Viola gitu. Dia datang dong, habis itu tiba-tiba padahal gue belum jadian, kita cuma kayak yuk gue temenin lo, gue kasih lihat, kita hangout, kita kasih lihat Jakarta itu club scene-nya seperti apa. Dan pas gue lagi di dance floor, gila si cewek ini pakai Jack D and Coke, ya langsung
Not mine, yours.
ke gue.
Oh my God, seriously. Oh, so dramatic.
Gitu. Dan gue kayak ngeliat gitu, abis itu dia yang kayak marah gitu, dia cabut keluar langsung, si Viola yang kayak what just happened?
Yeah,
Gue yang kayak don't worry about it, yo keep on dancing ya. Laki-laki bajingan pada umumnya standar, yes.
Yeah. You can see he wasn't the best guy back then. Yeah.
Wait, did you see him? Wait, when you met him at the time, did he have like the spiky hair with the colored hair at the time that that style that he had at the time?
Thank God,
no, thank God not, because that would have been
udah lewat fase itu udah lewat. Yeah.
That would have been very not interesting.
Saat itu yang lagi ngetrennya justru rambut itu diikuti oleh Andika Kangen Band. Jadi ya gue sendiri udah lewat lah fase itu.
Well, okay, saya pertanyaan gue gini, okay, so basically from the clubbing, hanging out, that's how you start to get to know each other, langsung timbul perasaan, so it's really organic, ya?
Yeah.
Wait, my dad is here.
Oh,
Guten Morgen, papi.
Hi, Om.
Oh my God.
Halo, papi.
Nge-stalk aja nih, papi. Yeah.
So yeah, it was actually very organic, and I actually really started liking him when I was really sick with when the foreigner comes to Indonesia, first we get food poisoning and all the different stomach bugs you can imagine, and I was just really sick. And he would come and send me food, and if he couldn't make it himself, he would send food to me, like someone else would send food to me, and water. He would even send water to me and medicine, and it was just really sweet how he took care of me. And I think that kind of got me. And my mom, when she heard about it, she thought, wow, that guy.
Okay, now actually this is the question I want to ask because when you guys decided to be more serious to get to get married, of course kan pasti Daniel and Lola tanya sama orang tua ya kan. Nah sebagai seorang yang beda kultur, beda ras begini, dari from your each family ya, dan mungkin even close friends, ada nggak sih yang pernah discourage? Bukan masa hate ya, bukan bilang oh Lola is bad atau Daniel is bad, is not, tapi lebih discourage kayaknya kawin sama orang sendiri aja dia lebih gampang, jangan sama orang orang luar, orang berbeda, nanti susah buat lu, buat anak-anak lu juga. Ada nggak sih pernah perkata-perkata tersebut terjadi pada kalian berdua?
Well, my dad is here stalking us. Why don't we ask him? Papi suka nggak kalau Denny sempat kayak mau pacaran sama Viola gitu kan? Ada masalah nggak, Pe? He's here.
So, yeah, from my side, there was no problem because my parents themselves, they're also mixed cultures. So my dad is Italian and my mom is German. And
Oh,
I
but
grew
that's
up with
but that's culture, but not race though,
sorry,
because they're
race.
Caucasians, yeah. They're still Caucasians, can that be? Yeah.
But still, like during that time when my mom was with my dad, the 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 Italians were quite looked down upon.
Immigrants.
They were immigrants, so
Okay.
I
So they're
think
fine.
it's pretty.
Okay.
So my parents were totally fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my parents sama juga. I think mereka tuh Doni mana tak? I always support you are wes tuh kan.
Thank you, Papi.
Soalnya the thing is I think gue bisa ada di sini pun juga karena open mindednya dari bokap gue juga gitu. Mumpung lagi ada di sini kan. Jadi sekarang gue dia seseorang yang dari Lampung datang ke Jakarta sendirian dan habis itu dia bawa saudara-saudaranya semua untuk ke Jakarta juga. Dan habis itu juga very adventurous dan I think kalau misalnya bahasa Inggrisnya forward thinking. Gue nggak tahu ya kalau misalnya di Indonesia itu seperti apa. Tapi maksudnya dari bahasa Inggrisnya very forward thinking. Dia ngelihatnya itu benar-benar visinya ke depan banget. Itu dia kenapa gue disekolahin di Australia karena dia ngerasa dia ngerasa buku-buku yang bagus itu bakal ditulis dalam bahasa Inggris. Jadi anak gue harus bisa baca buku bahasa Inggris supaya dia mendapatkan ilmu-ilmu yang lebih hebat lah seperti itu. Nah, jadi ketika gue mau nikah sama Viola pun, dia mungkin dari sisi orang tua gue justru ngerasa, wow, it's, with that thinking ya, dengan cara pikir yang sangat forward thinking yang tadi gue bilang itu, sehingga kayak please go ahead, dia sangat support banget gitu. Dan yes, bahkan untuk seorang Chinese mengizinkan anaknya ke dunia entertainment itu butuh forward thinking juga yang tadi gue bilang seperti bokap gue gitu. Karena kalau misalnya nggak punya forward thinking seperti itu, gue udah dipaksa harus punya toko, nggak sih, maksudnya dagang.
Gue sama lu lihat di L Indonesia. I remember asking this question about your job.
Right, entertainment itu nggak mungkin banget gitu. So obviously, nggak ada sih yang discourage dari segi gue sama Viola.
Oke, tapi pas tuh akhirnya menikah, terutama pas punya anak, ada nggak sih faktor-faktor perbedaan tersebut muncul? Misal contoh orang Asia kan caranya begini, orang Caucasians begini, ada nggak sih hal tersebut terjadi atau benar-benar zero, like you don't see colors, you don't see race, you don't see anything, Benetton banget gitu loh.
Karena kita pasangan yang sempurna ya, nggak ada ya, kita nggak pernah ngelewatin hal-hal seperti itu, kita sempurna banget. Not.
Yeah, of course we had I think of course, like, and I think I don't think it's even just being German and being Indonesian. I think it's just even coming from two different families, everyone has that issue.
For sure.
And,
so it was not a very pronounced problem, I would say then, yeah.
Well, there were many differences, right? And also different expectations, different ways of how we used to doing things, different ways of how we saw our parents do things, and therefore it was like a learning of seeing where do we come from? What do we bring in? What do we think about it? It takes a lot of communication to actually explain and why are we doing it that way? Why am I doing it that way? Why do I think this way is better? Why does he think that way is better? And we actually, the great thing about it is that we could actually communicate it and then choose for our own family culture. What do we want to adapt?
Yeah.
We don't have to stick to one. We can come up with our own, and we can take the best of both worlds, and we can see what works best for our family.
Jadi Viola masa kecilnya seperti apa, gue masa kecilnya seperti apa, dan ketika kita bergabung, menikah gitu ya, udah pasti banyak banget perbedaan-perbedaan yang sebenarnya kita mempunyai ekspektasi tersendiri gitu. Well, gue kalau misalnya pulang kerja, gue ngeliat bokap gue selalu disediain makanan sama nyokap gue, dimana Viola ngeliat papanya Viola yang masak buat keluarga gitu setelah dia pulang kerja, misalnya seperti itu. Jadi itu aja udah create a different expectation, sampai akhirnya kita merasa kita nggak bisa menikah dengan mempunyai ekspektasi sama pasangan masing-masing. Kita harus bisa menciptakan culture sendiri, yaitu the third culture, yaitu kalau misalnya ini adalah culture-nya Daniel dengan segala kefluidnya, Viola dengan segala kejermannya, dan inilah dia fluid Jerman gitu kan, yang this is the third culture yang menurut gue inilah the new Mananta family yang kita akan bangun kayak gitu. Dan banyak hal-hal yang harus gue let go, banyak hal-hal yang Viola juga harus let go, tapi gara-gara hal tersebut kita akhirnya membuat sebuah kita mengambil the best yang terbaik dari culture masing-masing, sehingga kita akhirnya membuat si third culture ini yang maybe ini works untuk keluarga kita, belum tentu works buat keluarga yang lain kayak gitu.
Gue pernah baca bahwa Daniel suka beli dan baca buku-buku untuk how to help have better marriages ya. Benar ya? Oke. Soalnya cara lu ngomong itu nggak banyak cowok ngomong kayak begitu, jujur aja. Kayak gue tau paman gue itu suka ngomong kayak begini kayak lu ini. Soalnya dia juga suka baca tentang buku marriage kayak begitu, ya kan? Nah, pertanyaan gue, how do you resolve conflict? Apakah dengan membaca buku tersebut, dengan lingkungan, atau bagaimana? How do you maintain your relationship despite all the differences, the problems, conflict always happen in marriages, ya kan? How do you resolve it actually? What is important?
Setiap konflik berbeda-beda dan nggak ada satu solusi untuk semuanya kayak gitu menurut gue. Apa yang terjadi di konflik keluarga kita belum tentu terjadi di konflik keluarga Grace misalnya seperti itu, atau di keluarga yang lain juga gitu. Jadi menurut gue udah pasti ya kita sendiri juga banyak berdoa banget supaya minta guidance dari Tuhan dan juga minta wisdom dari Tuhan untuk setiap problem yang menurut gue sangat unik sekali gitu. Sekarang aja kita lagi face a different kind of problem, dan kita juga as a couple kita berdoa bareng untuk menghadapi problem ini gitu, karena ini problem yang kalau misalnya kita menggunakan jawaban udahlah kita kan udah pernah dihadapin dengan hal yang sama, yuk udah kita kayak gini aja, itu kan kesoktahuan kita banget gitu, itu pride kita yang berbicara gitu. Nah, tapi setiap problem tuh ada sesuatu yang unik, dan emang nggak tahu kalau misalnya menurut Viola sendiri gimana?
I personally think it's important that the foundation is right? Like, of course, we're going to have fights. Every couple, I think, almost every couple, I would say, has fights. And if they don't have fights, maybe there's a problem. I think the foundation needs to be right. Like, what is our goal? What do I want from this marriage? Like, are we really a team? Are we really fighting for each other and with each other? Because in the end, if you know that when one loses, if he loses, I lose. Like if he loses an argument, I didn't win the argument. Nobody can win if we're not winning together. If I'm about being right and him about and I want him to be wrong, then in the end we both lost, right? So if we know that we're a team, and if I hurt him, I hurt myself, and if he hurts me, he hurts himself. If we have this understanding, then we can work on any fight better together. Because in the end, we both want the best for each other. And that's another thing. Do I really believe that he wants the best for me? And does he really believe that I want the best for him? And that I'm not just about myself, but that I'm about us. And this is a fundament, a foundation. It's a foundation. If we have the right foundation and we trust each other in this way and we know this about each other, then we can face any fight. We can overcome anything. Maybe do you want to translate that?
Ya, kayak yang itu bagus banget sih yang Viola bilang gitu, karena di setiap argumentasi, apabila gue menang dan Viola kalah, kita kalah. Tapi kalau misalnya gue ngalah mungkin, atau Viola ngalah, kita menang. And I think itu penting banget sih, karena kita udah jadi satu sekarang ini gitu. Dan ya Grace yang tadi Viola bilang tuh bagus banget, kalau misalnya nanti bisa dipotong di klip habis itu dikasih subtitle, keren banget sih, karena gue males terjemahin sebenarnya.
By the way, gue catat tuh. Bisa gue catat ngomongan lu, gue catat barusan tuh. I just wrote down exactly what Lola I already done. You know, I just said, if you lose, I also lose. I like that. I like that sentence a lot. Lola, you mentioned the word trust, ya kan? And of course, namanya manusia itu, even though kita mau coba trust, susah banget, ya kan? Nah, Daniel itu kan satu selebriti. Kadang-kadang kerjanya dia harus keluar kota, jam kerjanya juga mungkin sampai malam-malam, dan surrounded by female fans, by female peers and colleagues yang ya juga selebriti gitu loh. Sebagai you as the person yang lebih not public, bagaimana sih lo feeling lo? Apakah lo nggak ada insecurity sama sekali? Atau you trust him so well that there's no insecurity at all in your heart?
That's a good question. And honestly, like a lot of people ask me that before, and they're like, oh, your husband's in entertainment. Be careful, yeah. You should pray a lot for your husband. And I'm like, hello, don't put that seed of mistrust in my heart. I'm actually good. Like, I really think trust is something that we give each other. It doesn't have to be earned in the beginning. But once it's broken, it has to be earned again. But so from the beginning, I gave Daniel trust. And I have to say, I'm a very secure person. That doesn't mean I'm perfect or I think I'm the best person in the world. Like, I don't need to worry about anything. I'm better than anyone. No, it's not about that. It's about I'm very secure in who I am. And I'm very secure in my value. And I know I'm the best for Daniel. And God has put us together. And I don't have to earn my place. I don't have to prove that I don't have to prove constantly that I'm the right one for him. That's, we're together. And so I have given him my trust, and it's up to him if he proves it worthy by the way he lives and by the way he acts. And of course, it's like, that is the most valuable thing you can have in a relationship, if you give each other trust. And he trusts me and I trust him. And so because of that security, I think he also wouldn't want to hurt that. You know what I mean? Like, he wouldn't want to take that for granted and break that trust, because it's so valuable and he can treasure that. I think you really appreciate the way I trust you. And that's maybe not something that's very common in Asian culture, because we have seen so many bad examples, and the way that families work here in so many ways is very dysfunctional. And I think a lot of children grow up seeing their parents being really messy with their own relationship. And so they grow up thinking that there's no trust. Trust has to be earned first. And trust is only there if I know everything about the other person. But no, I think you need to give trust first in order for the other person to actually live in this trustful environment where they can actually blossom and where they can be the best version of themselves. Because if you always give mistrust, nobody can be good. If I mistrust him all the time, he will be like constantly on his tippy toes, being careful and not feeling trusted. That creates a lot of other problems. So give trust first. And make sure, make sure you give trust first. It's your part. And be secure in yourself.
Ini it's really amazing that Viola can say this. Dan maksudnya ini pertanyaan yang bagus banget dari Grace juga, dimana selama 9 tahun orang-orang banyak yang nggak tahu kalau misalnya gue udah married. Dan gue juga jarang pakai cincin kawin, right? Jadi kalau misalnya bukan karena trust dari Viola yang sebegitu luar biasa banget, mungkin ya kita nggak ada di sini sekarang gitu kan. Jadi kayak I think bisa dilihat lah seberapa trustnya yang diberikan oleh Viola ke gue, dan uh, sampai hari ini, detik ini, gue bener-bener kayak grateful banget sama kepercayaan yang dikasih sama Viola, dan gue nggak mau sampai kepercayaan itu rusak gitu, karena ya atau dipatahkan kayak gitu sih.
Daniel sama Lola ya kan, seperti gue tadi interview introduction juga bilang, dan juga banyak media terakhir ini kan gara-gara video lu yang ke Jogja sama Bali tentang anniversary ya kan. Was it anniversary or birthday ya? Pokoknya yang remember you had the adventure and you posted on your it was you posted on your anniversary ya kan. Jadi banyak orang benar-benar memiliki kalian sebagai role model. Bahkan tadi banyak banget message bilang, wow, stay this session, this is so good, sharing, so on and so forth. Buat kalian sendiri ada pressure nggak sih sekarang jadinya gila? Kita benar harus perfect couple nih. Kalau nanti kalau cerai gimana? Memalukan dong. Nanti kita punya kesaksian hilang semua dong. All of this kind of thing. Ada nggak sih that kind of pressure upon yourself now?
Such a good question.
Yeah, it's super good. Honestly, I think our marriage was never perfect. And, like, we've never been the perfect couple, even though people say that, and nobody is. And I think it's very important to be honest. Like, we have gone through so much struggle, and everybody does. And so everybody falls sometimes, and everybody's trying their best. But so there is for me personally, there is no real pressure because I have nothing to prove. Like, it's not about us being the perfect couple. It's just about giving hope that you can try, and everyone can maybe have more hope and can try at having a good relationship. And we're just showing how it's been for us so far. But there's no pressure of keeping that up that way from this side. Of course, my personal goal in life is like to keep this working forever, right? Like until death do us part. But that's not a pressure that I get from other people. That's my own life goal anyway. Like, but we've always been like this. Our dream goal is like to grow old together and be wrinkly and sit happily content together on a bench and watch the sunset. Like this is like one of those goals we have anyway in life. And we really hope that God will help us get there. But that's not something we can completely control, and it's still up to God. And so, I don't know, how do you feel about it?
Agree banget semua yang Viola bilang, idem. Tapi cuman mau ditambahin aja, maksudnya kayak kalau misalnya pressure, gue justru ngerasa ketika kita, kita ini akhirnya jadiin showcase, kita jadi sebuah showcase, di mana di ketidaksempurnaannya kita, ternyata kita masih bisa bersama. Dan itu menjadi harapan. Itu menjadi sebuah harapan. Jadi kalau misalnya sampai ada sebuah badai, sebuah storm yang kita kena dan orang-orang secara publik tahu gitu ya. Dan mungkin di situ mereka akan melihat bahwa wow, Daniel sama Viola can manage to go through that together. So there might be hope for our own marriage juga kayak gitu. So jujur gue sih amit-amit ya, jangan sampai stormnya itu sekencang itu gitu misalnya. Tapi kita terus berdoa juga untuk perlindungan juga gitu. Nah, misalnya sekarang deh, contoh gitu ya. Ketika kita mempunyai sebuah prioritas di mana gue sama Viola, we want to grow old together sampai umur 120 sama-sama, habis itu tidur suatu malam, habis itu mati bareng gitu. Ketika kita umur 120 and then we die together di umur 120 gitu. Now, there is a lot of karena prioritasnya seperti itu, akhirnya ada beberapa hal-hal yang mungkin yang kita lakuin sekarang yang perlu berubah supaya kita bisa hidup secara bahagia bersama-sama sampai kita umur 100 tahun ke atas gitu misalnya. Jadi
Oke.
itu akan menjadi kayak our apa ya, mission and vision gitu, prioritas kita.
Yeah.
Misalnya ada satu hal yang membuat Viola, contoh gitu ya, Viola ternyata um, alergi sama kualitas udara di Jakarta, misalnya seperti itu. Oke, apa yang harus kita lakuin? Karena itu akan efek uh, kualitas kehidupan kita berdua. Misalnya seperti itu, kalau misalnya Viola sakit-sakitan, dia dia kesehatannya itu nggak maksimal. Oke, kita harus ngelakuin sesuatu. Apa yang harus kita lakuin? Nah, disitulah kita ngestrategiin. Dan gue sendiri juga mungkin langsung mikirin solusinya untuk kerjaan gue juga. Gimana caranya supaya ini bisa adjust. Karena bukan tentang gue semakin sukses dan semakin kaya, tapi habis itu Viola sakit-sakitan. You know, that's not
Ya,
our goal. The goal is how can we enjoy life together bersama-sama sampai kita umur 120 nanti. Misalnya
Yeah.
seperti itu.
Yeah.
wow.
Hmm.
Itu very ambitious banget loh. 120 years old is very ambitious, by the way. Just saying.
Yeah, well, it's biblical.
Well, better aim high, right?
Oke, I want to ask you, tadi Danny mention badai. Boleh nggak sih share kepada kita hari ini, what is the biggest storm that you've ever experienced in your life, in your marriage, I mean?
We cannot share that with you yet.
No, but there was one.
But
Just
there was,
so
but
you
there
know,
has been, of
there
course,
was
but there
one.
has been, yeah?
And there was a few years ago, there was a big storm. And it was a few years ago, and it was really the hardest I've ever been through, or we've been through. And it was tough. But
Dan kalau misalnya lu
yeah,
menonton kayak interview gue di yang apa sama Mas Anang baru-baru ini sama Luna kemarin itu, you know, ada momen di mana si Viola udah ngangkat Panasonic Award gue, habis itu gue hampir ditimpuk palanya. That was one. That was the one. Cuman kita masih belum siap untuk ngomongin hal tersebut.
Sure,
And I
sure,
think there will be a day di mana kita bakal ngomongin, you know, maybe through a book or,
sure, sure.
yeah.
yeah. But there was one.
Ya,
But
kenapa?
we're still here. We're still here.
Ya,
Yay.
nggak, kenapa gue menanya begini? Karena bukan cuma selebriti ya, even friend people sekarang gara-gara social media dan dulu pun juga karena media traditional itu menunjukkan happy couples, fun couples, you know, apa beautiful life gitu loh. Tetapi kan nggak ditunjukin badainya, nggak ditunjukin apa the
Yeah.
basic routine that you do every day. Contoh kalian punya 2 anak, gue juga punya 3 anak. Bantu mereka sekolah, kalian bisa frustrasi kan, stres kayak begitu ya kan. Maksudnya those little things itu we don't really show on social media. Nah, ada bahayanya di mana people who follow you or follow these people, mereka mentally they think, oh, a perfect husband has to be like Daniel, a perfect wife has to be kayak Lola, and then they found out nggak ada tata beda kayak begitunya, you know. So mentally it affects people. Do you think there's a danger in that? And how? What would you advise people when they follow you or
Yeah.
follow these celebrities in terms of the relationship?
That is so good. Honestly, I find that so good. And I think the thing is, we always think we're the only ones with a dysfunctional family and with problems in the family. We think we're the only ones who have horrible parents and have horrible siblings. And why is just my family so bad? And it's not even just social media. It's even just, might even be, I think that about my uncle and my aunt and their children, because we only see the best of them on special days. But in fact, like, they also have their issues, you know, and maybe they keep quiet about it instead of sharing. And no relationship is perfect. We're just not perfect enough. Humans are just not
Yeah.
perfect enough. We all have our issues. We all have our brokenness. We have our traumas. We grow up. Things happen to us and we carry that as baggage around, and then we bring that into a relationship. And once we're in the relationship, now we have to deal with each other's like baggage, you know, like with each other's problem. I didn't know he had this problem before he married me. He didn't know I had this issue before he married me. And now we're stuck together and we have to sort it out together. And I think, honestly, every relationship has that to a certain extent. You just many people don't talk about it. You don't see it. You don't see people fighting on the street necessarily, like couples, you know, like especially in Asia, things happen behind closed doors. And so no, we have our issues, and honestly, we have our struggles continuously. And it's something you need to work on every day. And every day, and you know, we're 10 years married. Sometimes there are times where I have to decide in the morning, I'm going to be loving to Daniel today. It doesn't just happen. It's not just like I wake up and like, oh my God, I'm so in love with him still. Look at him, you know, like, no, like I sometimes have to decide it. And love is not something that you always feel. Love is something that you decide. You commit to love a person. I'm committed to loving Daniel. I'm committed to serving him. I'm committed to do good things for him. I'm committed to do loving things towards Daniel and to consider him in my life and put him as a priority in my life. And that's something that I decide to do. And I sometimes have to decide that,
even though you don't feel like it.
When I don't feel like it. And I think that's the misconception about love that many people have, is that love is something that you have to feel all the time. And that's wrong. Love is something that you decide to do. Love is a commitment, and it's a lifelong commitment that, especially in the hard days and in the storms, you decide to stick to, and to stick to your word, and to just stick to your decision. And that is love. And if you have understood that, if anyone understands that before they go into a marriage, I think a lot of problems wouldn't actually exist, because we would have totally different expectations.
Gila, gue mau tulis di komentar, let chat Viola. Oh my God, that was so good.
Thank you. Isn't it nice how he always promotes me? He always makes me feel so good about myself.
Good. Preach it.
By the way,
Viola.
shout out to Cheppy. Hello, Cheppy.
Hi,
and
Cheppy.
Melsha. We see you. Thank
So,
you for watching.
You know, it's so amazing what Viola said. Tapi ngomongin soal sosial media ya, maksudnya dulu itu kita membandingkan diri kita itu sama, you've heard the saying, keeping up with the Jonases. Ya nggak sih? Keeping up with the Jonases, di mana lu jangan sampai kalah sama tetangga lu. Gitu. Tetangga lu adalah the Jonases gitu kan. Maksudnya kayak kok tetangga kita lebih harmonis ya, wah kita harus bisa gitu kan, karena itu emang dasar manusia gitu. Kita pengen banget ada di sebuah standar, jangan sampai kalah sama tetangga kita sendiri atau apapun. Tapi sekarang ini karena ada social media, muncullah keeping up with the Kardashians. Lo tiba-tiba sekarang ini membandingkan hidup lo dengan Kim Kardashian. Atau lu membandingkan hidup lu dengan Kanye, dengan Justin Bieber, dengan whoever social media influencer yang kadang-kadang mereka pun juga di-endorse untuk kayak ngasih lihat kekayaan mereka gitu, right? So, sekarang ini it's no longer about your inner circle. Tiba-tiba lu membandingkan diri lu bukan lagi sama the Jonases yang ada di sekitar tetangga-tetangga lu. Lu membandingkan diri lu dengan seseorang di Hollywood yang hidupnya itu benar-benar di-polish banget. So, you know, even kayak, maksudnya gua aja, atau mungkin Grace sekarang ini, kita akan selalu ngerasa kurang, karena kita membandingkan diri kita dengan di social media influencers gitu. Jadi maksud gue, you know, that's the danger. And I'm talking about personal aja ya, personal life gitu. Belum lagi kalau misalnya nanti kita ngomongin soal pernikahan kita, kenapa couple itu bisa sempurna banget, kayaknya di foto selalu mereka ciuman sama anak-anaknya pada ketawa semua, oh so cute, dan sedangkan anak lu lagi ngejambak rambut lo sambil nangis minta dibeliin mainan gitu misalnya, you know, so shout out to Patrick Effendi, what's up, yo bro, thank you, sorry dia ini apa, Majelis Lucu Indonesia. What's up?
Coba Daniel, Lola, dengan sekarang kondisi lu hari ini, dengan lu punya visi dan misi yang lu diskusikan, dengan lu punya pengalaman sama almost 10 years ini, ya dengan Tuhan of course as your guidance ya, lu secure enough nggak sekarang berdua tuh bilang bahwa for sure this marriage will be there until the end? Kita pasti nggak bakal split up.
You're sure?
You're not.
No. I mean, honestly, please God, let it be there until the end. Like I cannot. Of course, I cannot guarantee that. I'm weak. He's weak. We're just two weak humans who need God in their life so we can actually do this together. And on my own strength, no, I don't think I can do that. And in my own strength, I think I wouldn't have done it the last 10 years. But honestly, in the biggest storm and in the hardest moments, it was like God who was there, or it was friends who I could call and say, I don't know what to do. I'm so frustrated. I'm so desperate. And there would be people who would tell me, Viola, get your perspective right again. You know, and I have some people in my life that I can actually call and say, I need your help. You know, I hate him right now. I don't know what to do. What am I doing? You know, what should I do? And like, there are people who are in my life that I can call, who I can tell honestly what's going on, and who get my mind, like who get my perspective right again, who help me focus on the right things. And, you know, I think we all need those people in our life. And I think we all need God, because the closer you are with God and the closer you can be in your marriage, I think, like, if he puts his heart in the right place and I put my heart in the right place, then we can have our heart together in the right place. And if I'm not taking care of my own heart and my relationship with God, and if he doesn't take care of his heart and his relationship with God, how can our relationship be good? Because in the end, it's not just about building relationship. It's about being healthy characters, being healthy personalities. Me as a person, am I healthy enough to lead a healthy relationship? So no, I don't just need to work on my relationship with him. I need to work on myself a lot in my life, and on my character building, on my relationship with God. And the more we grow as people, the better we can be together. And I really pray that in our marriage, we will always work on ourselves, and we will work on each other. We will work, you know, and we will work on our relationship and on our relationship with God, because ultimately we don't know what happens tomorrow. We can just pray and hope and try our best.
Agree.
What she said.
Lola, sir, I need to ask you this. This is for you only, yeah? Because you are the wife of VJ Daniel, and he's a celebrity, he's the social figure, ya kan? I talked to another wife of another celebrity. There's a lot of pressure, obviously, to become the wife of a celebrity, especially you being a Caucasian living in Indonesia, you know, in Asia. There's all this patriarchy culture that you might not be accustomed to back in Germany. For your mental health personally pribadi ini, did it ever affect you? Like maybe people commented, kok istrinya VJ Daniel begini, kenapa begini, like scrutinizing you just for the thing because you are the wife of Daniel, not because you are Lola. They don't care about that. Have you ever heard those kind of comments, and how do you manage that?
Sorry, can you repeat the last sentence? Have you ever
heard this kind of comments before, and how do you manage that?
And how do you manage it?
Did I understand the right thing?
So, Mrs. Daniel Mananta.
Oh, Mrs. Daniel Mananta.
Or you know, oh, you're VJ Daniel's wife.
Yeah.
Patriarchy.
Yeah. Okay, now I get it. Yeah, it's so. First of all, there's a good reason why we kept this from the public for the last, like, for 8.5 years, 9 years, right? We kept our marriage from the public. Of course, all our friends knew, all our surrounding, of course, knows we're married. We're not keeping it from anyone except the public. And that's for a good reason, because I don't think I was ready to face that. Because I never intended to marry a celebrity. I never want to be in a spotlight. I feel like if it's just about me, I would just live in a cave and be happy. You know, like I have no need to stand in the spotlight. It's not my personality, and it's never been my goal in life. And I think it's fine if it is, like, you know, like, but it's just not me. So I stayed hidden for a long time in a way, because I don't want to deal with comments, and I don't want to be interviewed. I don't want to, I mean, you know, like when there's an event and suddenly there's media and there are cameras and a microphone, I'll be like, I'm going to leave, you know, like I just didn't feel comfortable. And maybe I wasn't in that space for a long time. And I also felt, yeah, but I also felt unseen in a way sometimes, like, of course, like being just Mrs. Daniel Mananta. I'm like, I'm not Mrs. Daniel Mananta. That's Daniel Mananta is his name. I mean, I took his last name, but not his first name, right? I still am someone. But yeah, I mean, it's something I learned to accept, being called that way, and it's just, I think, also a cultural thing. And I've decided to live in this culture and marry him, so I'm okay with a lot of things. And honestly, now after a long time being married to Daniel and having grown myself as a person, I have grown a lot, and I feel like now strong enough to be in the public. But I really don't want to make this about myself, because I really don't. There's nothing interesting about me personally, I would say. I'm just another person. But if
Yeah,
there's something
I
that
think
we can
you
share
have
with
grown, yeah.
others that will enhance their life, if it enhances their life, if it helps them have hope, then if I have something valuable to share, I really want to share it. And that's what we think after this almost 10 years. We have gone through storms and we've come out. And if that can give hope to others, then I will be here. I will be public. And that's why we're doing this now.
I think that both of you definitely have something to share to the public based on your relationship and how did you get all the way here. Mungkin my last question adalah ini untuk both of you ya. For Daniel and for Lola, what would you advise somebody young yang lagi nyari a spouse? For Daniel, advice for the guys, and Lola for the girls.
Oh, that's the great. Okay. Someone young who's not married yet, or someone who's married already?
Yeah, they're looking to find a husband or to find a wife. So can you answer each one of you?
Well, I think, what I said before is that, how I said it before about us and our relationship is like, make sure your heart is in the right place. Make sure you grow as a person. You take care of yourself. Don't just find the best partner. Try to be the best partner. Become that person that you think you would also want to marry, and never stop growing yourself and becoming better, and work on your relationship with God. Find your strength in Him. Find your worth in Him, so you don't have to look for someone else to fill that hole in you. Fill that hole in you with God first. So nobody else has to do that job, because it's not someone else's job. It's God's job to fill you.
Gua akan ngasih mungkin kedua ya. Yang pertama untuk yang single, sama kedua nanti yang married. Yang single, tadi yang Viola bilang bagus banget. Gue kasih sebuah cerita. Jadi ceritanya, apalagi sekarang ini udah zamannya all this aplikasi di handphone untuk mencari pasangan dan lain-lain. Kayaknya itu bisa dijadiin sebuah alasan buat lu untuk mencari the one, tapi lu nyobain dulu, test drive dulu sama banyak banget gitu. Dan ini sebuah cerita yang gue denger juga dari this guy Andy Stanley. Dia bilang jadi ada seorang perempuan, dia mempunyai kayak cita-cita gitu untuk menikahi seorang pria ideal gitu. Kalian sendiri mungkin yang para perempuan yang lagi nonton, kalian juga pasti punya lah. Wah, nanti gue pengen punya suami seperti bla 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 bla. Ada ciri-cirinya dan lain-lain gitu kan. Nah, akhirnya dia mulai pacaran sama satu, ternyata enggak, pacaran sama dua, dia mulai ngecek pakai aplikasi gitu, aplikasi di handphone, swipe, dan lain-lain, nyoba-nyoba, casual dating, dan lain-lain, sampai akhirnya dia menemukan si pria tersebut mungkin di sebuah komunitas, di sebuah tempat ibadah mungkin, atau dimanapun itu ya, dia ketemu ini nih, laki-laki, dia excited banget, dia ngomong sama nyokapnya, dia bilang, "Mam, aku udah ketemu laki-laki idaman yang selama ini aku cari." Dan mamanya ngeliat ke dia, "Kira-kira kamu wanita idaman yang selama ini dia cari atau enggak?" Uh,
Benar.
itu soalnya yang mungkin teman-temannya dia dengar bahwa kamu selama ini udah hidupnya terlalu bebas banget. Sampai akhirnya kamu udah bukan lagi wanita idamannya dia. So, inti dari
Oke.
cerita ini adalah untuk yang para single, become the person you want to marry you. Want to marry. Become the person you want to marry.
Wants to marry.
Yeah, wants to marry. Gitu ya.
Become the person you want to marry, wants to marry.
Betul, itu. Jadi, jadilah seorang perempuan atau laki-laki idaman yang perempuan atau laki-laki idaman lu pengen menikah dengan. My goodness.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, so hard.
That was proper grammar, right?
Right. Itu untuk yang single. Untuk yang udah married,
Oke.
kita berdua ini cuman salah satu suara dari banyaknya sekali pelajaran-pelajaran, banyak sekali wisdom dari para profesional mungkin atau spesialis di pernikahan yang bagus banget buku-bukunya gitu ya. Ada dari Gottman Institute, ada tentang Love and Respect yang sering banget gue mention. Ada banyak banget buku-buku di luar sana yang lu bisa pelajarin. Dan kita hanya suara kecil banget. Tapi menurut gue ini bukan kebetulan kalau misalnya lu udah menikah dan lu nonton video ini. Karena mungkin ini adalah sebuah kayak nudge, sebuah kayak toelan gitu ya di dalam hati lu untuk mulai menaruh sebuah effort, menaruh sebuah usaha di pernikahan lu dengan membaca wisdom tentang pernikahan yang sehat seperti apa, berantem secara sehat dengan pasangan itu seperti apa. Banyak banget di luar sana yang mungkin kalian bisa dapetin nasihat-nasihatnya. Kayak gitu. Jadi ini bukan kebetulan banget. Mudah-mudahan lu jangan mikir, ya udahlah kita udah nikah, udahlah tinggal dinikmatin aja, nanti go with the flow, nanti juga pasti akhirnya you end up happily ever after. No such thing. Alright? No such thing. Udah, itu jangan percaya itu. Pokoknya lo benar-benar harus taruh effort, lo tiap minggu harus benar-benar berusaha supaya mempertahankan pernikahan lo supaya bahagia. Kayak gitu. Jadi kalau misalnya lo mikir ini bakal seperti air udah go with the flow aja. Air itu akan selalu mengalir ke tempat yang lebih rendah.
Benar.
Pernikahan lo, kalau misalnya lo biarkan mengalir seperti air, itu akan ke tempat yang jauh lebih rendah. So, make sure you swim up. Okay? Benar-benar berusaha banget untuk fight for your marriage. Benar-benar jaga, fight, berusaha dan berjuang untuk pernikahan lo gitu. Jangan cuman go with the flow. Gitu sih.
Kayak itu ya. Kayak ikan salmon ya. Go against the current, don't go down like a dead fish.
Yes, salmon. Yes.
You know,
That
like
tastes
fish
good.
go against the current, right? Yeah. Okay, Daniel, Lola, I really appreciate dan gue tadi mau mention aja bahwa Lola, when I ask this question, Lola nggak bilang cowok idaman tuh kayak begini, tapi dia actually talking about to improve. Even Dan also said it ya, masalah adalah diri kita, bukan masalah orang lainnya, tapi kita diri kita dimulai dari diri kita dulu. Jadi I think that is a very good advice. And seperti biasanya jangan tinggal dulu guys. Di iTech Show, we have rapid fire questions ya. Jadi pertanyaan sembarangan random aja, sampah gitu pertanyaannya. Just answer quickly aja, nggak perlu banyak jelas-jelasan aja. Okay, it's just a rapid fire question. Okay, are you ready?
Let's do it.
Alright, okay. Masing-masing pertanyaan buat Daniel sama Lola for this one. Okay, Daniel, what is your biggest pet peeve about Lola? And Lola, what is your biggest pet peeve about Daniel?
Biggest what?
Pet peeves. Pet peeves itu artinya apa ya? Kayak
Yang paling most annoyed gitu loh, kayak ngeselin gitu loh.
most annoying.
Yeah, most annoying, most keselin gitu loh, you know? Like,
Okay. Okay. He makes sounds when he eats.
okay.
Chinese. Udah ya. Gitu ya.
Okay. Kalau Daniel?
Uh-oh.
What pet peeves? Shit.
Oh, please, come on. Please.
Perfecto. The best of the best.
Liar.
I think she apa ya, mungkin this is her strength and her weakness juga. She has a limited stamina. Jadi
Okay.
kadang-kadang gue, kenapa gue bilang ini bisa jadi strength juga? Karena tanpa dia, gue ngegas terus, gak ada ngeremnya. Viola tahu, oke, ini kayaknya udah saatnya ngerem gitu. Kadang-kadang itu bikin gue frustasi. Oh, come on,
I'm slow.
come on, we're just like, come on, let's keep going. Tapi si Violanya kayak, nanti dulu deh.
Daniel, lu jawabnya kayak job interview lu. Jawabnya, your answer is like a job interview answer, What is your biggest weakness? And he has to be
Diplomatis.
He still has to go sleep in one bed with me tonight. So, yeah.
Okay, between the two of you, who uses the bathroom longer?
It's also my space of quietness and, retreat when the kids are loud outside. So, yeah, it's me.
So it's you. Okay, all right.
Itu
Who
sebenarnya
usually in a fight?
dia
Sorry, go ahead,
uses
Daniel.
the bathroom itu untuk pelarian. Dia use the bathroom untuk pelarian gitu. Jadi gue yang ngurusin anak-anak, dia pelarian ngecek handphone, ngecek Instagram. Karena dia tahu kalau misalnya dia ngecek Instagram di depan gue itu gue kayak, can you take care? No. I go to the toilet.
I also work on the toilet.
Yes. Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
There you go.
Quiet.
Sorry, Grace.
Yeah.
Third question. Sorry.
Okay, in a relationship, in a fight, who usually says sorry first?
Yang ngalah duluan gitu ya.
Sorry,
yang say sorry, say sorry dulu siapa?
What did you say?
Yeah.
I think it's equal. Sometimes it's me, sometimes it's him. Who has the more humble heart at that day.
Siapa yang lagi lebih dewasa aja saat itu?
Iya, kalian diplomatis deh jawabannya kalian semua.
It's the truth. What do you mean diplomatis? It's the truth. Ada saatnya di mana Viola say sorry duluan gitu dan
yeah, and sometimes I had a really bad sleep and I'm grumpy all day, or like I'm about to get my period, sorry to say, and then I don't have the capacity to say sorry.
And I say sorry.
And
Yeah,
we have the capacity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oke, pertanyaan selanjutnya adalah siapa yang biasanya bangun lebih pagi untuk ngatur anak-anak, untuk jaga anak-anak take care of the kids, preparing the kids to get ready for school?
Mbak
The
kita.
mates.
Mbak kita.
Yeah.
Ya. Gue bangun pagi, tapi untuk lari gitu
For
kan.
the kids.
Bukan untuk anak-anak. Ya.
Yeah.
Okay.
The joy of
No
living
worries,
in
no
Indonesia.
judgment. Yeah, no judgment. Oke, selanjutnya tentang anak-anak lo ya. Who is more of the tiger? Is it tiger mom or tiger dad in your relationship?
I might be the Chinese zodiac of a tiger, but when it comes to that, I'm more of a sheep.
I don't know. I think
But you
it'll
know-
be me.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you
Sorry.
hear me? Yeah, sorry. I did not catch the answer just now. Who is the tiger in the family? Like for your kids, I mean.
Oh, yeah. Who's the tiger mom or tiger dad? It's rather
Yeah.
him. I'm a sheep.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, and the last one, all right? Please, each other, yeah? Daniel, describe only in one word about Lola, and Lola, describe one word about Daniel.
Angel.
Wow.
Energy.
Oh, that is so true. I agree. Energy. I can see Daniel doing that. Totally. Agree with you.
Ya. That's it,
Uh,
that's it.
okay.
Kayak lagu Silon Seven. Baru kemarin gue pikirin loh, gila. Kayak lagu Silon Seven, anugerah terindah yang pernah Tuhan berikan buat gue itu adalah Viola gitu. That's why she's like an angel.
A slow angel.
Wow.
It's okay.
Wow. A sheep angel. Daniel and Lola, you guys are such pleasant couple. Even today, it's been so fun chatting. I feel like I'm in Germany right now in front of you, except the internet problem is like quite lagging here now and there. But so thankful for your time today, and I hope that you guys have a safe trip back to Jakarta. Yeah, all the best to your family. Stay safe in Germany, no matter what. Yeah, thank you so much, Lola Daniel. Thank you so much, Lola. It's so nice to meet you finally.
Thank you so much. It was also such a pleasure. We really had a good time.
Thank you, Grace.
Yes.
See you guys.
See you.
Thank you, guys. See you, everybody. Bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye.